Hey, it's Coach with Tactical Hyve. Today we're out on the range. We're going to do a little comparison between 9mm and 10mm. 9mm, everybody's been using that for a long time. 10mm, it's been out for a while. It's a little more powerful, and people think, oh, is it too much? Is it too much for me? You know. So today we're going to take a look, see what the difference is in accuracy and times. We're going to put on the shot clock and see what we find. You can look at the difference here. You know, 9mm. Everybody knows what 9mm is all about. Well, 10mm. Of course, it's 10mm, but it's the same length as a 45. It's got a lot more power. And depending on the load, you can get a lot more effect on target. All right, so what we've got here are the two platforms that we're gonna be shooting today. This is my M17, 9mm. It's got the X lower on it, X carry lower. And this is the 320 XTEN, slightly heavier, but other than that, it feels almost exactly the same in my hand. Okay, so we're gonna run a few drills. We're gonna shoot 2 from the holster. Okay, so draw, shoot 2, see what the times are, and we'll be shooting targets, so we'll be able to measure the distances, the spread, and see if there's any big difference there. And then shooting 2, shoot 1, reload, shoot 1. Just get the times there, see if there's any difference in reload times. And then we're gonna do a now drill, pistol now drill, which is for the civilians, it's 10 rounds, combat reload, combat shot, and we'll time that. And then the last one will be a drill, 2 targets, 2 shots on each target from the holster. So draw, shoot 2, transition to his second target, shoot 2. And we'll just take the times on there and measure the spread and see what the difference are between 9mm and 10mm when you shoot them.
1.62. 1.51.
1.51. Hell, that was faster. Okay, so on 2 shots from the holster, what was the time? 1.62. And we're at almost exactly 5 inches spread for the 9mm. For the 10mm, it was just a touch faster with 151, I think. But we're slightly more spread here, about 6 and a half, 3/4 inches for the 10mm. It's a little snappier. And when you're doing control pairs or trying to work at that fast second shot, you're getting on the trigger fairly quickly, and because of the recoil, I believe there's a little more recoil there, so there's a little more variation in the impact.
Stand by. .62 with the reload.
3.62 with a reload.
4.14 with reload.
4.14 with a reload. Okay, so 9mm. We got a spread of about 1 3/4 inches center to center ish. And for the 10mm, 2.5 or so. Okay, so again, with 10mm, that little slightly snappier recoil. Everything else seems the same. To me, the gun feels the same weight. Everything's moving the same. It's just that little bit of snappier recoil for the 10mm.
.58.
Okay, 5.58. We'll measure that in a second.
6.34.
6.34. Okay, so that was our 11-round now drill, the 9mm. We got an extreme spread of about, let's see, just like 6 3/4, 6.5 inches, somewhere around there. Started to slide up a little this way, but when you're shooting fast, I mean, I think it was 5 seconds and something for 11 rounds with a mag change. Not too bad, but all right. Now, noticeably more recoil. Holy crap. When you start pumping out that many, that quickly, oh yeah. Anyway, but so the spread still went to 7.5. Okay, I think that's the extreme spread, pretty much. Yeah, 7.5 or so. So it's still a decent group. It was a little bit slower, and when I went to reload, the slide didn't go all the way forward, so I had to come back and run the slide. So that eats up a little bit more time, but you know, it was still, what, 6 something? Okay, so we'll give you the time here in a minute.
2.34.
234. Okay, 2 shots on 2 separate targets, 234. So my first spread here was 4 inches on that one, and no inches, right, stacked right on top of each other. So 9 mil, you know, it points, it shoots, and it recovers very quickly. Let's go with 10.
2.58.
With the 10 mil. First shots, there's about a 6 3/4, 7 inch spread, and then transitioned over to about a 3 inch spread. So coming off with the draw and still tightening on that grip, things kind of get a little bit loose on the first one, but each one with the 9 and the 10, by the time you get to the second, that shot group tightened up a little bit. So again, and it's just a little bit more open with the 10, and that's kind of what we expected. Okay, so that's a close-in drills from about 7 yards. That was 2 shots from the holster, you know, 1 shot reload, 1 shot. The now drill, 11 shots, and fast as you can with a reload, and 2 shots on 2 targets. These are just, you know, standard drills that we kind of run through, kind of gives you an idea of, you know, how well you're doing. And honestly, it showed the tail of the tape when it came from 9 mil to 10 mil. All right, so that's 10 mil as expected, because it's got a little more recoil. It was just a little bit slower and a little wider. And actually it wasn't much slower, because man, you make up time on the draw. Everything's exactly the same as the 9 mil. It's just that little bit extra recoil impulse that you know, got to deal with. Okay, so that was 9 mil versus 10 mil. Up against the clock, what I noticed, my own thoughts here, are because the platforms are so similar, there was almost no difference in the draw stroke, in everything. The presentation, everything was exactly the same. And with that 10 mil, you know, it was only a little bit slower because the recoil impulse was a little bit more, and I'm not really used to that. I don't shoot 10 mil all the time, but it's not that different. And I think with enough training, enough, you know, reps, I could mitigate that. And honestly, if you could carry 10, I'm gonna carry 10. It's a much more effective round. You know, right now we're seeing just incredible, shock on the steel. So honestly, the difference between the 9 mil and the 10 mil really isn't that much. You get a lot more power with the 10 mil, and maybe the times are slightly longer just because of the increased recoil impulse that I'm not used to. So I will train to that, and we'll see how I can do, because I really like this 10 mil. Anyway, our next video is going to be part 2. We're going to build a meat target a la Paul Harrell and give that a shot and see what the difference is, the terminal ballistics on a meat target, and maybe the penetration test as well. All right, as always, if you guys like this content, like, subscribe, and leave me some comments, man, because I read them all. I want to hear what you have to say.